Before we get into today's video, I would like to give a special shout out to one of our newest subscribers, C.E. Toy Cartoon Cat and EV. Thank you all for subscribing, and without further ado, let us get on with today's video. Oh, and welcome to the family. Greetings, my dear viewers. It is I, Drayhon, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons Character Conversion, where we take a look at characters from across media and convert them into playable characters for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. With the help of their lore, we are able to, more often than not, get a very accurate representation of this character. So today we are going over Bowser Jr., son of King Koopa himself, Bowser. Now, Bowser was introduced in Mario Sunshine, which is a long time, and while that is the case, Bowser Jr. doesn't get much he does not get much screen time. He's only in it when it best suits the story, like with Sunshine and Bowser's Fury. And most recently, the newest Rabbids game, which, from what I'm hearing, is not a game worth talking about for a couple of reasons. But that's besides the point. Today we are looking at Bowser Jr. as a character. So, let's go ahead and get into things. Starting things off with our stats, we are going to be using the point-buy system. Strength will be a 10, Dexterity will be a 12, Constitution and Intelligence are both a 14, Wisdom is going to be a 10, and Charisma will be a 13. For race, I had to go with Tortle, because, well, both Bowser and Bowser Jr. are Koopas. Even the Koopalings are Koopas. That's their species. It is canonical. There is no other category for them. There is technically a subspecies that is unknown, but since it's unknown, we don't actually have that representation. So, while I could go with Tal'Dorei Reborn's hybrid races system, I feel that we should just go for a straight Tortle race. This will give us a +2 in our intelligence and a +1 to our charisma. Speed of 30 feet. We have the ability Claws for 1d6 plus strength when we attack with our claws for unarmed strikes. We have Hold Breath for 1 hour, Natural Armor of 17 AC, Shield Defense, and a Skill Proficiency in Perception. Now, let's go ahead and talk about that Shell Defense, because it is going to present a little bit of a problem with today's build. Now, while it is very useful, while you are inside your shell, you have a +4 AC, and advantage on strength and constitution saving throws, there are some downsides. One is that you are prone, which has its own host of problems, even if you use your bonus action to emerge from your shell, because you are still going to have to spend half of your movement to stand back up. You also have a speed of 0 while inside your shell, and this speed cannot be increased. Additionally, you have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. And, most importantly, you can't take reactions, and the only action you can take is a bonus action to emerge from your shell, which again, you are still considered prone when you first emerge. So, yeah, this is actually a very similar problem to what we had in the Blastoise build, since both Blastoise and Bowser Jr. have a shell attack. They spin, charge the opponent while still in their shell to smack them, which we can't do. Though we can technically make do with certain mechanics within Dungeons & Dragons. And we'll get into that near the end of the video. For our background, we're going to grab the noble background, because he is the son of King Koopa. So that means we are a prince. Your proficiencies are history and intimidation. You also get a gaming set of your choice, and you also get one language of choice. I would recommend Draconic, just because it kind of makes sense. Feature, we also get position of privilege, which he uses a little bit to his advantage, though he does do a better job at this according to the wiki. He does learn that respect is earned, not given, and that's how his father actually rules. He rules with respect, not with an iron fist. Next, we are going to go into Sorcerer, which we are going to be compensating for that missing Draconic blood by grabbing the Sorceress origin of Draconic bloodline. We're going to go with the Dragon Ancestry Brass Dragons. This will give us our fire resistance. Draconic Resilience will give us extra hit points equal to 1 for each Sorcerer level. Anyway, since we are at a starting class for Sorcerer, we get a 1d6 hit die, and we also get starting hit points of 6 plus our Constitution modifier, plus our Draconic Resilience, don't want to forget that. So we get to start off with an easy 9. We get proficiencies in daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, and light crossbows, Constitution and Charisma saving throws, and the skills of Arcana and Deception. And we don't want to forget that spellcasting, which uses our Charisma modifier. Now we're going to go ahead and quickly multi-class into Artificer, because it is stated that Bowser Jr. has a knack for machinery, and is very intelligent. It has been noted that he is actually more intelligent than his father, which is saying something. Now, one viewer that told me about Bowser Jr. when they first requested it, Ag Silver Radio, by the way, they mentioned that Artificer being part of the class would be reasoned by the paintbrush, which is found on his person in Mario Sunshine. However, I would disagree, as the paintbrush wasn't made by Bowser Jr., but as you can see on the paintbrush, it was made by Dr. E. Gadd. But I think I will give Bowser Jr. a pass, as we are seen with this clown car in multiple different forms. It's kind of a staple for any of Bowser's men to have, his son included. Even some of the Kooperlings, if I remember correctly. So he gets a pass. Plus, he likes throwing the bombs around. So, yeah, we can give him a pass on being the Artificer, especially since he has a knack for machinery. And it wouldn't be too far of a stretch to say that Bowser Jr. did alter some of the paintbrush. Though I do have a problem with this paintbrush. And that being, that is a very prominent part of Bowser Jr.'s character, not just in Mario Sunshine. In some of the side games, like in Tennis and in Hoops 2x2, Bowser Jr. actually has special moves dedicated to painting. So I was very close on going with a bard for Bowser Jr. because of this artistic style, but I decided against it in favor of the Artificer, since, the machinery. Plus, we needed some features at higher levels in both Sorcerer and Artificer, so I decided to pass. But if you wanted to, the backgrounds of Strixhaven Student, both for Prismari and Silverquill, could be useful for integrating this sort of idea that he is somewhat talented in art. For level 2 Sorcerer, you get your Fount of Magic, so now we have our sorcery points. Level 2 Artificer gets Infuse Item. I didn't want to go over exactly which infusions would work for Bowser Jr., though I would say the Enhanced Spellcasting Focus would be somewhat useful for him, even though the Artificer spells are used with tools, but the paintbrush could technically be counted as a sort of arcane focus for his sorcerer spells. So, honestly, it's not too far of a stretch there. Moving on to Sorcerer level 3, we now have our meta magic options. Go for Subtle Spell and Transmuted Spell. That way we can change some of our non-fire spells into fire-damaging spells. For level 4 Sorcerer, go ahead and increase your intelligence by 2 points. Level 3 Artificer, we are going with an Artificer Specialist, the Battlesmith. This will give us new tool proficiencies in Smith's tools, as well as Battlesmith spells, Heroism and Shield. And unfortunately, we will not be able to use the Shield spell if we are in our shell defense, so that is a little bit of a pain, but whatever. We also get Battle Ready and Steel Defender, which you could make his clown car, so long as you use the spell Enlarge to make it one size larger. That way it is, rules as written, able to be ridden. You also get the right tool for the job just for being a 3rd level Artificer. At 6th level Sorcerer, we get Elemental Affinity, which means we are able to increase the damage output of our fire spells, equal to our Charisma. For level 8 Sorcerers, go ahead and increase your intelligence by 2 more points, maxing it out for the purposes of this build. And at level 4 Artificers, go ahead and increase your Charisma by 2 more points, making it a 16. For level 10 Sorcerers, we get more meta magic options. The Distant spell and the Quicken spell will work perfectly for Bowser Jr. Level 12 Sorcerer gets another ability score improvement. Go ahead and give your Charisma a +2. Level 5 Artificer of the Battlesmith gets extra attack, so now we can take 2 attacks per attack action. Level 6 Artificers get Tool Expertise. Level 7 Artificers get Flash of Genius. And finally, level 8 Artificers would be getting an ability score improvement, but I have decided instead to go with the feat Warcaster, just so we can concentrate a little bit better on our spells. That might be the end of the build, but not the video, as we have spells to go over. For our recommended spell list, I have decided upon these Artificer spells. For cantrips, we have Green Flame Blade and Poison Spray to represent a kind of spray paint, since the special move in Hoops 2x2 is called Graffiti Blast. First level spells, we have Catapult, Disguise Self, to reference his abilities in Mario Sunshine, Fairy Fire, Grease, and Tasha's Caustic Brew. We also have second level spells of Arcane Lock, Heat Metal, Pyrotechnics, and Sea Invisibility. For our Sorcerer spells, we have the following cantrips: Create Bonfire, Fire Bolt, Lightning Lure, which could technically become Fire Lure because of our meta magic. We also get Mending, Shocking Grasp, or Burning Grasp, and Sword Burst, which is the spell that is going to give us a sort of a shell spin. While we're not going to be able to ram into our opponents, we could still give that illusion of a spinning shell. We get the first level spells of Absorb Elements, Jump, Magic Missile, and Witch Bolt. For our second level spells, we have Agonazar's Scorcher, Dragon's Breath, and Enlarge Reduce. For third level, we have Fireball and Melf's Minute Meteor. This is to reference Bowser Jr.'s progression with his Fire Breath, being somewhat unstable and being jets of fire, to being able to actually cause a little bitty fireball to be flung at his foes, much like his father. At fourth level, we have Wall of Fire. Fifth level, we have Immolation. And sixth level, we have Sunbeam. How did you enjoy the video? Is there a specific character that you would like to see? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until next time, this has been Drayon, and I am offline.